Well, hello, everybody, and welcome to the first episode of Yonder, as we are going to journey into said wild, said blue, and said yonder. This is a fantastic cast that I can't wait for you all to meet, but I don't do anything here other than act the fool and probably get myself killed for the things that I've done to our GM over the past, long time. But anyway, this is not my show. This is simply the brand new first ever series on Tales from the Grim. And with that being said, I hand it over to my dear friend Lauren, who would never take anything out on me that happened on another show in another time in another system. Lauren, how are you?
Yesterday. Yeah, hi. I'm great. I'm not feeling vengeful. I'm feeling very, very calm because I'm with a beautiful, talented, super kind group of people. And I am so excited to be GMing this. I have my whole spiel for the campaign, but first let's go around, say who you are, and very briefly who you're playing. So let's see. Let's start with Tommy.
Hey. I'm Tommy. I'm Imperator Pengu on Twitter. I'm going to be playing Lord Blackbird tonight, Natalia Syri. I am super excited to play him. He's a good boy. Sweet. Please don't ruin him. Please don't hurt him.
Noted. Let's move on down to Kiana.
Hello. I am so excited to be here. As most of you know, Lady Blackbird is one of my favorite systems. I've run a game of it, and I'm so excited to be playing it with Lauren in the lead. But I will be playing Artemus Walker, who is Lord Blackbird's very loyal valet, and might be a little condescending / stuck up. Man, she gets along with everyone just fine.
Yep. Alice, welcome back to the channel.
Hi, again, I'm so excited for this. I've never played Lady Blackbird before, and it's been on my list both to have Lauren as my DM and play this game. I'm Alice White Rabbit Pick, and I will be playing Snargle, who I think thinks he's more dashing than he actually is. But he is the pilot in this case, so I'm really excited to play with this group.
Yay, I'm so excited too. And now for a brand new face, but one I met at Gen Con back in August and who I've been wanting to play with since. Serena, welcome to Tales from the Grim.
Hello, thank you for having me. I'm very excited. This is my first time playing Lady Blackbird. I'm playing Kale, who is first mate and mechanic of the ship. I will also not steal from anyone. No matter what you heard, I will not steal from you. Your things are totally safe and sound with me, so let me see them.
I believe that. I'm convinced. And now...
I definitely believe that.
Yeah.
100%.
100%. It's true. And now for the man beneath the wig, Greg.
Lauren, thank you so much. And chat, thank you so much for liking whatever this is that is perched upon my hair. I think it's lovely. It's deceiving because of the hairline, something I haven't had for quite some time. But anyway, I cannot wait to play this. Friends, let me tell you something. We had an episode 0 with this group a couple weeks back, and a lot of people say a lot of things, and I'm a liar, but you can trust me on this one because I actually mean it. It was so much fun. It was so organic and so easy. And with RP, sometimes that's difficult, but not with this group. I think you're in for a huge treat. I I'm going to be trying to keep up with these fantastic RPers, and I guarantee you I am going to be trying to keep a step ahead of our fantastic GM. I play Cyrus Vance. I am the mother effing captain of the Owl. So let's get to this. Let's sail the wild blue yonder. And complex love polyhedrals, I submit my wig to you. Let's do this.
That's a beautiful offering. Thank you so much, Greg. All righty. Well, here we go. Hello, Legion. Amongst shattering worlds circling a dying star flies the small skyship known as the Owl. Its crew are on a mission to deliver a disguised nobleman to his one-time love, Pirate King Uriah Flint. They are smugglers, thieves, rascals, dreamers, and seekers, all outsiders in one way or another. But what will they be to each other? Lady Blackbird is a Powered by the Apocalypse game by John Harper. Instead of stats, you've got traits and tags, and the number of applicable tags for the given task determines the number of dice you roll, which are all D6s. I'm telling y'all this because I think this is our first Powered by the Apocalypse game on Tales from the Grim. So buckle up, because this system rules. Basically, the more dice you roll, the better your chance of success. The game assumes you're good at what you're good at, so we'll only roll when an obstacle presents itself. And that's where I come in. We'll have some custom donation options below in a bit. If you want to help or complicate the outsiders' lives, assist in designing a monster or encounter for an upcoming episode, or even fly aboard the Owl yourself. But we'll get to all that soon enough. For now, know this. The wild blue is breathable. The depths below it are not. The Empire rules, even on the free worlds where they shouldn't. The solar system is small, taking only 6 weeks to cross. Beyond it is the void, which of course has a purplish tint. Magic, also known as essence, is rare and coveted. The largest source of it is the star at the center of the system, known affectionately as Stella, and she is dying. So, let's dive into the wild blue yonder. Where do we find our crew tonight? Where all those who oppose the Empire eventually end up? The brig, of course. All 5 are in cells deep in the belly of the Hand of Sorrow, one of the largest and most fearsome ships in the Imperial Navy. It's only a matter of time before their identities and their outstanding warrants are discovered. But the crew and passengers of the Owl aren't the only outsiders aboard the Hand of Sorrow tonight. Something else lurks on the ship, and it has already escaped its cell. But that's not what we see now, and it's certainly not what our outsiders see. So if we were to float through the blue, perch on the hull of the Hand of Sorrow, and peer through the porthole that looks into the brig, what would we see? Captain Vance, what do you look like, and what are you doing right now in your cell?
Well, at this point, Captain Vance, who has really fantastic hair, and he would be seriously working with the brace that he wears on his leg, not because it's uncomfortable, but because it's a nervous habit. It's something that he does whenever he's frustrated, when he's frustrated with his set. He's frustrated with his situation. He's frustrated with being in this cell or inability to make decisions. And he would just be staring back and forth, violently jerking at the brace on his leg. Tightening and loosening, tightening and loosening.
Across from Captain Vance's cell is the cell that contains his first mates. Kale, what do you look like and what are you doing right now?
So Kale is, she has messy, unkept hair and a leather bomber jacket with khaki pants, and she's fidgeting with, even though she's thinking really hard about the schedule of the guards, how they walk by, when they come and just trying to figure out that pattern.
Something that Kale would have noticed, keeping an eye out like that, is that it's been more sporadic than you're accustomed to, having been in a brig or two in your lifetime before. The energy on the Hand of Sorrow is, while still regimented, there's some kind of nerves in the air. Next to your cell, we have Snargle. Snargle, what do you look like and what are you doing?
Yeah, Snargle is this probably quite a small goblin. He's got very dark green skin and like a scar that runs down the side of his face, across his chin and down his neck. And you can see where it probably goes a little bit further, where he wears his white shirt that's slightly open. He's got his waistcoat and his hat and goggles on, which he's sort of waiting for something to happen. He's quite a lucky guy. He feels that to him, this is, yeah, we'll get out of this. He's probably sat against the wall, got his feet up, readjusting himself every now and then. And he'll probably be humming or whistling something. If he can annoy the guards in any way, he probably will.
There's an ensign, kind of freckled, really young looking boy with sandy hair and a wide nose, who's been patrolling this thing, Zombie Night, who's been patrolling this hallway that makes up the brig. And every time you come to a particular spot in the song you're whistling, he kind of stops on his march, looks at you, holds back a sigh, and keeps marching. Our other two are not crew, but passengers of the Owl. Nat, what do you look like and what are you doing in your cell?
All right. So Nat is a fairly lithe fellow. He's got these sort of oversized ears. His hair is very well taken care of, sort of swept to the side. Got these sort of large, smiling gray eyes. And he is currently smiling because he's looking and he's waiting for the novel. One of the crew is gonna spring them from jail. This is all going to plan according to every novel he's ever read. Yes, the one of them will have a hairpin or something hidden somewhere that they can pick the lock with.
Did they write about the stench of the brig in the novels that Nat read?
No, but he's trying to be optimistic about it. He's just like, well, I mean, I can understand why they didn't write about it.
No novelist's words could quite capture the odor that is wafting through this hallway. Our other Imperial and our final member, Artemis, what do you look like and what are you doing?
Artemis is a strong and tall, imposing figure, especially now as she stands absolutely stock still at the door of her cell. Her coat and her scarf are just a little askew, and she's kind of fiddling with it alongside with her gloves, with her black hair swept behind her ears, and she's just watching everything.
Artemis, you would have also picked up, like Kale did, the fact that something seems to be off with the crew of the Hand of Sorrow. Especially this ensign's probably one of the youngest that you've seen. And yeah, fidgety. You would call him fidgety. And he pulls out a handkerchief every now and then and blows his nose. Might have a cold. So, that's all of you. What do you want to do?
How close are our cells to each other? Are we able to talk or whisper to each other?
You'd be able to whisper across. The doors are iron with steel reinforcements, but there are windows.
Okay.
So you're able to see across to Vance, and you can kind of see Nat's cell next to him across the hallway. Snargles to your left. Artemus is farther down, but you think your voice can carry to all of them.
Okay. So Kale kind of leans towards the bars, towards Vance, and goes, "Psst. Psst.
Yes. Tell me you got a hairpin or a nail file or something."
I don't, but I have a plan. Okay, you gotta trust
fantastic.
me. If
Okay.
they're nervous about something in there. They're walking around and not they're not in any sort of schedule. So there's something that they're scared of. If we can bring their attention here, maybe we can like get one to come into my cell or your cell. Like get them.
I like your plan. Fake sick?
Yes, that's exactly what I was thinking. Fake sick.
Fake sick. Okay. You sick or me sick?
I'll take this one.
Okay. I'll be the concerned. Okay.
Yeah. Like you know all my medical history. Like you know what's going on.
Right. He will, like, because he's closer. Vance is closer to Snargle, correct? As according to the back and forth, or is Snargle across from
Snargle's? So Kale's immediately across from you, and Snargle's in the cell next to her.
Right, but Vance can see into Snargle's cell, correct? From that.
Yeah.
Psst.
And you hear like a what? And a little hand pops up because I'm assuming this window is far too tall for Snargle, but he's like does like a wave. He's like, I can hear you.
Okay. Just checking. Okay. So he takes off the upper section of his brace and immediately feels his leg kind of give at the knee, but he takes the metal of it and starts taking it across the bars in front and takes across the glass as he goes, Hey! Help!
The young ensign, who's at the other end of the hallway, thankfully, for that entire conversation, you hear him let out a big sneeze, and then he starts walking toward your end of the hallway. Is something wrong?
My friend's sick!
I don't feel so good.
Like
What?
really sick. Like,
My stomach. And like Kale starts at this point she crumples to the floor and she's like holding her breath and then releasing it, so she turns like a color.
Uh-huh.
And I'm trying to like make myself sweat and turn a color right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kale, Kale, are you okay?
Oh no, I I feel like I'm dying right now.
Vance tries to pull the attention away just so the performance is heard and not seen too much. And Vance says, we keep our pressure on the ship. She has a condition. We need some help.
Condition. I need my medicine. If I don't have it, I'll die.
Okay, you need to make a roll for this.
Snuggles climbing up this door, like so that he can like try and pull himself up to the bars, and he's like,
You didn't give her medicine?
like trying to just add to this.
This kid, this freckled ensign, is looking back and forth between all of you and kind of looks at Artemis, who hasn't said anything yet, and just looks at her.
Deadpan, just like looking at him. I would suggest that you fetch the medicine unless you wish to have a corpse on your hands.
All right, so Kale, you're making this role, being the inspiration and main actor. I'm gonna say for this, we'll make it a difficulty of 3, which is lower than it would be because something's up on this ship. But he's still an Imperial. Okay. So what do you think would be applicable for this?
Also, I think I have something that can help.
Good. So yeah, so you get 1 die just cause, remember, and then you pick one of your traits to apply.
Right. I thought I had something that I don't have. So,
remember, you also have your pool. If you want more dice, you can use from your pool.
Yes. Would I be able to use... No, that's not right either. I thought I had like deception, but I just have like steal your things, take your things, fight your things. So,
well, I think maybe tricky might be a good trait to use for that.
So I'll use tricky.
And then, yeah, sell me on it.
I was gonna say sleight of hand. No, escape.
I'd give you escape because this is like a con. You've been in tricky situations before. So yeah, I would say you have 3 so far. And then if you want to add from your pool, you can.
I'll do 2 from my pool.
Gotcha. And you do have
1 from my pool.
Okay. And you do have an extra 1 from Zombie Night.
Ooh, yes. I would do that one.
Cool. So right now you're rolling with 4. And you need a success of 3.
All right. I had a success of 1.
All right.
Ugh, dang it.
But you fell upward, so you get that.
Wait.
Oh, yeah?
I have what's called the secret of leadership. And once per session, I can give someone else a chance to re-roll a failed roll. By giving them orders, advice, or setting a good example. And I can't do the last one, so I will give orders and advice. And narratively, orders and advice for Vance are if it looks like it's going the wrong way, he's going to use his own deception, his own smuggler's background to be like, hey, I told you to get her out of there. You know, just constantly redirecting and keeping this guy confused as he has to look one way to the other across the hall. So
he definitely looks confused. So the good thing though is you get that die back, that die from your pool back. But the ensign seems to have frozen kind of on the spot.
Does he have keys on him?
You would think, knowing Imperial ships the way that you do, that he probably has some kind of electronic key, like a pass key on him somewhere. You don't see it just from a cursory glance.
All right. Well, I was going to save this, but this is for my crew, and I love my crew. So
Damn.
Vance is going to take his hair and he ties it back as he puts his brace back on. And I'm going to use Secret of Warp Blood. And I am going to teleport out of my cell and knock this a-hole out. Because Blackbird has a story that needs to be done, and by God, I'm writing a paragraph.
All right. All of you who can see Vance's cell, see from before when he was yelling out to the young ensign asshole, apparently, see him vanish. What does your warp power look like?
It's just the color of the void, the purple. And he stands there and it just bleeds from his soles of his feet up his legs as if he's being dipped into some type of paint. It takes him all the way up from tip to tail, and then beside the Imperial, you would see it recede as he is just standing there, revealed from the purple of the void.
Yep. The ensign, who has been frozen, kind of not sure what to do, does not see you. So how would you like to knock him out? Or do whatever you're going to do?
Violently.
Ah, yes. Uh-huh. Sure.
I mean, he's not trying to kill him. He's trying to incapacitate the kid.
Gotcha.
Presumably, if he is a cell guard on a cell block, he probably has some type of binders or cuffs. So he's going to just take the kid and knock him out first by driving his head into Kale's cell. And as he passes out, just going, "You really should have just opened the door." And then he's
well,
going to...
as you do that, you're going to have to roll to actually get him to knock out. It's only going to be a difficulty 2 because you popped up behind him. So
right.
What do you want to use for this? You've got one just cause.
Okay. Well, I've got a ton for this. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I can do, I'm a warrior. I'm battle hardened. I have tactics. I have, deception, sneak, hide.
Well, you can only use one trait, remember, and the things under that.
I can only use one per, or
One
I can use
trait
one from
and then
each.
the tags under it.
Right. So for ex-Imperial soldier, I'd use tactics. For smuggler, I'd use hide since I'm popping up. For survivor, I'd use tough as hell because I am. And for warrior, I would use battle hardened because I'm going to throw this kid into the cell.
So which of those do you want to do?
Warrior.
So you can only use one of
Okay.
the... Okay, yeah.
He's got it. So one just cause, then warrior, then battle hardened. That gives you 3 dice. Do you want to add any from your pool?
Not right now.
Okay.
Two
He
successes.
got it. He got it. Okay.
That's right.
Yeah.
Welcome to me as a player.
I regret so much already. All right. Everything goes up to 6 successes from now on. Okay.
Hey, what?
What have you done?
He knows. All right. So, yeah, you drive this poor freckled ensign into Kale's cell. And if this were a Saturday morning cartoon, there would be birds flying around his poor head as he passes out in your arms.
And he would gently put the kid down. He doesn't like this type of violence, especially when he just like bushwhacked this kid. He had no clue it was coming, but he'll quickly search him, take any weapons that are on him, take the electronic key card, and if he has any money, because that's what you do.
Then you hear coming from Nat Cell. That was amazing. That was spectacular.
Let's get out of here first, kid. And he'll go.
Kale, are you okay?
Yeah, oh, I'm great. That was amazing.
Oh, I see what you did there. I'm glad you're not actually sick.
Oh, yeah. Oh, you're so concerned for me. Thank you. You'll know when I'm sick. For real. And,
Not quite sure what that means.
oh, you'll find out soon. No, you won't. I don't plan on getting sick. Strange threats? I don't know.
While this is going
Vance.
on, Vance opens up the Kale's room and hands the key card to her. Let's go.
Let's get out of here. And I'm gonna
Indeed.
go unlock the first door.
Yep, you can certainly do that. Vance, on the ensign's unconscious body, you find a firearm. They kind of work, at least in my head, like the phasers from Star Trek. So they do have a stun setting and a kill setting. And you
Right to kill.
Yeah. Oh, good.
It only has one setting, as far as Vance is concerned.
Oh, excuse me. You do find the electronic key card to open the cells. You don't find any money on him, unfortunately. You'd probably have to go search his room.
Then, without anybody noticing, Vance leaves money with him if he has any still on him.
Okay.
Also, our navigator, we have our first guest star already that is scheduled to come as Mal is coming into the Wild Blue. So just put a pin in it, back of your head. Guest star already, as we are into not even an hour yet of Wild Blue Yonder. So prep for that. And yeah, like I said, Vance will leave just a little bit of coin because he feels bad about what he did to the kid.
As he should. No, I didn't say that. Don't worry about it. You do also, as you're doing all of this with his body, phrasing, find some
Go on.
yes, scratch marks along his uniform. One that looks pretty deep and seems to have pierced his skin. And it's got this kind of dark red, maybe purplish tint to it. Yeah.
So, a purplish tint to the scrapes.
Yeah.
As soon as like Snargle is let out, Vance will kind of, hey, and then as soon as Artemus comes out, he would be like, look at this. This isn't Vance's cup of tea, but he has powerful allies.
Yeah, I think as soon as you let Snargle out, he'll jump off the bars, sort of give a stretch like, ugh, okay. And probably do as you tell him. He'll wander over to the body and wait for Artemis to come over as well. And he's like, Snargle's picking through like stuff again. You've already taken stuff off him, but he can't help but check for more.
Yeah, Vance would make sure when Snargle goes to take the money that Vance put in the pocket, I hit the kid pretty hard. Let's leave that there.
Oh, okay. I'll leave it.
And he sort of moves away from where you've left the money, but we can't help looking anyway.
Right.
Yeah, Artemis will walk over.
Has Blackbird been let out yet?
I'm letting him out right
is
now.
Blackbird last? Okay,
Last one.
Kale, you let Blackbird out. Go ahead. Go for it.
This is their first time in jail. You feel hardened?
I don't know about hardened. I mean, does one get used to the smell after a while? It is. They didn't quite describe it like this in the books I've read. I must say that was a rather unique escape plan. I wasn't expecting that either. You're your captain's quite amazing.
I've only seen him do that blinky thing like a few times, so this was a treat.
Oh, yes. Well, I mean, that seems rather useful for getting out of a pinch. And I think once Nat's sort of... Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Once Nat's sort of out of... once Nat's out of his cell, he'll go over to Cyrus and... How do you do that? Is it natural? Do you have some sort of item?
That's all me, kid.
Oh, that's... I'm really glad that we got on your ship.
Really? He looks around the brig.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the ideal situation for Nat. He's like, oh, I mean, we're getting out. I mean, the only option, the only path forward from here is back to our ship and off into the wild blue. This is going splendidly. Right?
It is, and I'll take this moment as Vance will walk over and put a hand on the boy's shoulder and kind of guide to take in the majesty that is the brig, and just say, well, kid, I'm glad you got on the boat too, and I hate to say it, but get used to this sight and this smell. And we're gonna go. We're gonna drop off real quick, everybody. We'll go to a BRB, get our camera set, and be right back. Give us 1 sec.
I see
Twitch
two pianists.
Twitch being twitchy. And we're back, friends.
Yes, Captain Vance was just
So we're back on the owl.
Yeah, no.
No, everything's great.
No.
That was amazing what you all did to get us off of that.
Stop it. Stop it. That's it. Everything goes up by 1 difficulty level. Done. Anyway, so Captain Vance was just helping Nat just appreciate the brig and all of its glory.
Are they all like this?
What do you mean, brigs? Or adventures?
Brigs, I suppose.
It's pretty standard. I'd say it's a little large. Some brigs are pretty small. Sometimes you have to share.
The
I
smell's
was
pretty much
just
the
gonna
same
say that.
there.
And speaking about sharing, benevolent navigator, we have another guest star that is coming in, as Hawkeye will be joining as well. So we have people lining up to set sail on the Wild Blue. Yeah, and with that, Vance will look at Blackbird and just... Kale's right. I mean, sometimes you have to bunk up. The smell, though, it's always just about like this.
The same, right? Like you would think it would be different, but it's always the same.
Yeah, it's just basically like shit and arrogance. Like just a hint of that.
I wonder if the captain of this ship knows that it smells this bad. perhaps no one's told him or her.
We should
Speaking
bring it up at the
of
next board meeting.
captain- Speaking of the captain of this ship, as you all are standing here, you start to hear footsteps coming from the other side of the brig door. What do you do?
He eyes Artemis for a second. Crew, let's get our passengers back to the boat. As he moves to one side of the door, and we had a firearm, correct?
You have one firearm.
He'll hold it. Think about giving it to Artemis and then give it to Kale instead.
Yes. Kale takes it and finds. So, how well lit is the brig? In a like where the door is to the rest of the room?
It's pretty dank in here. You just knowing ships, I think you're probably pretty deep in the belly of it.
Mm-hmm.
So things aren't as well maintained down here.
So she's going to go to the darkest corner she can find that is close to the door as it opens, and she's going to perch there.
Does she notice the setting of the gun?
She didn't really look at it, but she probably should. It's only set to stun, right? Like that's the thing of it.
This one is currently set to kill.
I don't know if she looked at it. So
Fair.
I think Snargle remains in the center of the room by the body, just sort of thinking, well, if they walk in, at least it's a distraction and gives them a split second to do something. So he'll just stand, like, arms crossed and wait.
Nat and Artemis.
Artemis is going to stand by the door, a little off to the side, so it's not immediately visible when they open it, whoever comes in, but would be very easy to intercede.
I think Nat is over by Snargle and it's like, isn't this the time where one of us puts on the ensign's clothes and we pretend to be him and we deceive our way through the ship?
And Snargle sort of looks confused at you, adjusts his, like, waistcoat. He's like,
Well, you can. I'm not. No thanks.
I look at the ensign. how size-wise?
He's Nat's pretty tall, isn't he?
Yeah, I think he's like just under 6 foot.
Yeah. The ensign's a little shorter than you, but not to a ridiculous length.
Well, I feel like that would be a bit much to this poor sod. Take his clothes. So what's the plan? Snargle? What do we do? Do we jump
I'm
him?
gonna stand here. And why? Where do you want to stand? I'm gonna stay here.
I'm
You know,
I mean,
and he
that's
sort of.
fine.
I mean, you can stand here with me if you want.
I think Nat's just gonna stand there with Snargle.
yeah.
Great.
He's like, cross your arms, look intimidating.
Like, he's now playing up to the fact this kid has obviously read a lot of stories.
Nat like puts on his biggest, it's like he's trying to like growl, but like he's not good at it.
Yeah, he's like,
Can we hear it though, Tommy? Can we hear what the growl sounds like?
No, don't do that. Don't do that. Just puff your chest out a bit.
and like Snargle tries to bring him out even though he's not.
That's like, oh,
Yeah,
just,
stick with that. Don't do that noise.
just.
I've got a very
Nope.
clear image. I got it. So we got Nat and Snargle kind of crossing their arms, puffing out their chests, looking definitely not like good sweet boys at all. Nope, not them. We've got Vance and Artemis kind of flanking the door. Kale is also, you think on Vance's side of the hall, or okay.
Yeah, I'm on Vance's side of the hall, and I'm more there as last resort.
Yeah, gotcha. Is there anything else anyone would like to do as the footsteps get closer? And there seem to be several pairs of feet walking, booted feet.
Shit.
Okay. Great. Good. This is good. So the door, which would not have opened with the key that you all had, begins, you hear kind of a wheel begin to turn outside of it as 4 figures now stand outside of this steel door. There are 3 probably ensigns or lieutenants, much like the unconscious one in the center. And there is one in the uniform of a captain. And this is Captain Hollis. Now, this is one of my favorite parts of the system. We're going to see who has either heard or knows Captain Hollis and what he is like. And so I'm going to roll a d5, and one of you is going to tell me something about dear Captain Hollis, who I'm sure is very friendly. That's all. So 1 is Vance, 2 is Nat, 3 is Snargle, 4 is Artemis, 5 is Kale. Artemis! Oh, good. Oh, good. Please tell me about Captain Hollis, as I told you about Captain Hollis long ago.
Captain Hollis, Artemis knows him as he is one of the Imperial Navy, and she has worked in the army before, and so has actually gone to training with him. And she knows that he's this is interesting. So having trained with him, she knows that he has a little bit of a he'll never admit to it, but not 20/20 vision. He has to wear glasses. He will never admit it. And she knows this. So she'll be able to, if he's entering first.
That's amazing. It also explains why when you were all brought aboard and given a cursory glance by him, he didn't recognize you.
Yeah.
He would have refused to put on his glasses in front of his crew. Still a young man. Okay. What's his first name, Kiana?
Ooh. Let me think of the most pompous goddamn thing I could think of. Ferdinand.
Greg. Ferdinand. Great. Good choice. Good choice.
Ferdinand Hollis.
I'm feeling like there's some feelings between 2 people that need to be worked out here.
No. This is normal. This is a normal GM player relationship. So, Captain Ferdinand Hollis. Oh boy. Good. Ferdinand. Okay. So, Captain Ferdinand Hollis, because I'm going to keep having to say the full name. He's a tall man, only slightly older than Artemis is, starting to gray at the temples maybe a little, but he has a very well-maintained goatee. He's very proud of it. Damn it, Kiana. His boots are super shiny. basically everything that the crew of the Outsiders, the crew of the Owl, are not. He is clean, he is precise, he holds his head very, very high at all times. And he has kind of cloudy blue eyes. So he enters along with 3 younger guards. He seems to have some kind of electronic scanning device in his hands. And the door opens, and all of you, well, what they would see is Nat and Snargle standing over an unconscious body, and that's pretty much all they see right now as they stand in the door. And we have a moment, we have a breath. What do you guys want to do?
Quick question. So he's dressed like a captain.
Yes, very
would it be safe
much
to
so.
assume that Nat, being a noble, would have a good idea of what someone dressed like a captain looks like?
Yeah.
Perfect. So in this moment, whatever everyone else is doing, Nat is just like, Captain, your brig is in an unacceptable state.
And Snargle just.
Oh my.
I'm sorry.
And then just whatever. I don't. That's all I had. I don't
Wait,
know.
does anybody else want to do anything, or should we just?
No, at this point, as if she even takes a step in, Artemis is going to immediately come out of the shadows and disarm and incapacitate him.
Great. He's not stepping in, but one of his ensigns, one of the
yeah,
guards.
if an ensign comes in and does this, I will do that and throw him at
Oh, good.
Captain Hollis.
Like you're bowling?
Yeah.
Poor guy was probably just coming down to have a nice chat with all of you,
No.
convey information, definitely not insult anybody, and we're just bowling. Good. Okay, so the first ensign is going to step through the door. We know Artemis is playing Kale and Vance.
Wait.
I'm holding my action as well.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
We're
cool,
gonna. I mean, we're not leaving Artemis to die, but what we're saying is, if we can draw more into the room, presumably the one at the end is going to be the captain. That's what Vance is going to do. He wants to be able to roll around the corner after the other ensigns have come in and just absolutely cold cock the furry Hollis.
Great. Good. Okay. So the first one steps through. Snargle, is there anything else you want to do besides facepalm, which is very effective?
Snargle is actually waiting, because he normally waits to see what the rest of his crew does, because he's the pilot, he normally takes orders. So he's just going to stand there, and he sort of hovers a hand behind Nat, just sort of like so that he doesn't walk towards them. It's more sort of just keep this one alive, because I don't trust what he's going to do.
Amazing. Great. So Artemis, you are the one who must make a roll.
Okay. So one, just because I'm going to use bodyguard.
Yep.
I'm going to say awareness with it because this is split timing
Sure.
from being checking out threats. This is a threat.
Yeah.
Defend. I am defending my crew by getting rid of these threats.
Sure. Sure.
I'm going to disarm,
Sure.
restrain,
Yeah. Sure.
carry,
Okay.
and delay.
Jesus.
Oh.
That was a lot.
That's how it works.
Okay, this is only going to be, I'm going to say, because you were up against the wall, this is only going to be difficulty 3
Okay.
for now.
God damn it.
This
Can I? Hold on.
Yes.
Would you consider this protecting somebody?
Sure, why not?
All right, I got to re-roll that.
Yep.
Can I get a secret of the bodyguard?
Yep.
We're going to try that again.
Do it again.
7.
Yeah,
That's much
that's
better.
more like
You
it.
couldn't have split those up a little bit?
So as your hand reaches out for him for a moment, you kind of overestimate how much he's going to come into the room, but you quickly readjust. Tell me how you disarm and restrain him.
So as soon as this poor ensign comes into the room, Artemis is coming from the shadow, immediately grabbing one arm, pulling the other to basically, and then pulling the other to the other side of the body, basically swing them up, and then using that momentum to just shove them into whoever is in the doorway, at the same time pulling out whatever weapons that they're holding on to.
Great. Good. This ensign also has one firearm, and you shove him back into the one that was behind him in the doorway. They are definitely out of sorts. Before anything else happens, the captain just simply nods at the one who is still free of the tangle, and the captain begins moving back down the way he came. The other ensign is still there, has their firearm drawn, but is again, it's that nervous, that fidgety thing of they're focused on you now, but they seem distracted almost. So what do you want to do now? You've got two kind of in a tangle in the doorway. You've disarmed one of them. They're going to correct themselves eventually, and there is still the one who is outside of the doorway, but fine.
Vance is going to roll around the corner and basically front up against the remaining ensign with the gun out, and he's going to obviously not, be at the end of the barrel, but I would like to use creepy stare and intimidate, and I'm going to tell the ensign, drop the goddamn gun.
All right, so you're basically trying to intimidate him into dropping his gun. So you got one. Okay, so this okay. This difficulty is going to be 5.
Sure.
It's going to be 5.
Sounds good.
So you've got one just cause. You've got survivor, which is what you're using.
Right.
Creepy stare and intimidate.
Correct.
Do you want to add any from your pool, or just roll with 4?
Now with tough, I could argue that this is a pretty tough guy type of thing to do.
Totally. Yeah.
Okay. So
you've got 5.
Yeah, we'll add tough to that. Nothing else I don't think goes into it, but what I would like to do is I would like to add 3 from my pool.
Great. So you're rolling with 8.
8. Well, things have gone better in the past.
But the good thing is you get those dice back. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice?
Probably dead, but yes, I've got him back.
So Vance pushes through the ones in the tangle in front of the door up to the other ensign, says this, and the other ensign seems a little older than the others, a little more battle hardened, and he has a gun at you, and he gonna shoot you. So what you gonna do about that? Because I don't roll any dice.
Well, see, that's the beauty of being the captain of a boat. I don't have to do anything but this. Kale.
Yeah, and so Kale launches at this person, and I'm gonna use because I want to get between the gun and Vance.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna use tricky. So tricky with quick, dirty fighting, tumbler. Can I do that? If I'm
Yeah, I
like,
give you that.
I'm
Totally.
can I like flippy?
Yeah.
And because I want to get myself between Vance and the shooter, can I use sleight of hand if it's my whole body?
Sleight of hand is one of your locked tags, so you don't have
Oh,
access to it yet. That's what the little
okay.
parentheses mean. So you've got 5, and you can add from your pool.
Okay.
He walked right up to him. He's got him point blank. So I'm going to also give this a difficulty of 5.
Okay, I'll add 3
Basi-
from my pool.
Okay, great. So you're rolling with 8.
Right. Break and frag. Ooh, can I reroll Secret of Reflexes?
Yes, you may.
Yes. Okay. Let's try this again. Come on, come on. Ah!
Oh,
Yes!
great. Please describe to me this epic move.
So, as soon as Vance sidesteps, you see this like small, slight figure just like jump over the tangled mess that is Artemis and the other two, tumble over, elbow the guy, and just like totally like shove, like part them, and has her gun pointed at him now.
Great. Amazing. So we've got Kale between Vance and this older ensign. Kale and the ensign both have their guns out. Kale's set to kill, but we don't know that. It's fine. We've got Snargle and Ned still standing over the unconscious freckled one. We've got Artemis still having her hands on one of the ensigns, has his firearm, and there's one kind of recovering in the doorway who keeps getting stepped on and is like really confused. And we have the captain who has moved somewhere. So
Is there's a jumble of a big ensign pile right at my feet, right?
yep.
He would like to reach down and take their guns and then just turn and hold both of the guns at the older ensign, almost standing behind Kale. So Kale's guns out and his two come to either side of Kale's as there's just a firing squad. Hey, old
Okay.
man, this isn't the way you want to go out.
Okay. Yeah, I would say you can probably get the gun with relative ease because of the chaos that Artemis caused. I'm going to make you roll for this only because this ensign has already resisted your intimidation before.
Oh, sure.
But it's only going to be difficulty 3 this time.
Okay, well then the same stuff again. Creepy stare. Actually, can I switch it up now? You said that I got both guns off of the bundle of ensigns on the floor.
Well, Artemis had one of their guns, so you have one as well.
Okay. Can I do? I'm not actually attacking, so I can't use that. Pardon me while I learn, Legion. I'm gonna do the same thing I did before. I'm gonna do the tough, creepy stare, intimidate, and just go with that. I'm gonna spend another 3 as well, so I'm gonna roll 8.
Gotcha. The older ensign. Oh God, we're gonna have so many names. What are we gonna call him? We're gonna call him Ensign Bell. Ensign Bell looks at the situation, reassesses it, maybe reassesses the man in front of him, and will lower his weapon, although not put it away.
when he lowers it, Vance leans forward and sees the name on the badge on the. He goes, "Hey, that's a good idea, sir. Bella, is it? Sabella? Good idea."
He doesn't say anything. He puts one of his hands kind of behind his back, as if he would be in kind of his standard ready position, although he still has the gun in the other. And he shrugs at the two of you. "So, what now?"
This is the only
Let us
thing that
go.
Vance is good at, so he looks at everybody else.
If I can suggest something, I think this is where we put them in the cells that they were holding us in.
That's not a bad idea.
And or use one of them as hostages, although I would prefer not to go that route.
We'd all prefer that too.
Hey, those marks on that kid. Do you have marks too?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Seems like your ship has some sort of infection. Is that why you're all so squirrely?
He doesn't say anything.
Cool. So Kaylin kind of walks up to him and has the gun out still and kind of puts it like in his side a little bit and takes his gun.
Oh, he really doesn't want to let go of it.
He's not going to let go?
He's giving a little resistance.
I don't want to hurt you. I will, but I don't want to hurt you.
We're just leaving. That's it.
Does he need to be convinced? So I say Nat. I think Nat wants to step out. I was like, "Look, gentlemen, it's nothing against you personally. You simply were on the wrong side of destiny, in which it put you in the way of our path, which means you were never going to win this fight in the first place. So just do the easy thing, and perhaps nothing bad will happen to you." And Nat smiles. Just this charismatic grin. Just the
This older guard is a little, I think, taken aback by that. You'd like to try and persuade him to just make things easier.
yeah, yes.
Great. Yeah.
So,
Okay, so go for it. We're
right.
gonna say, I'm gonna make this difficulty 4.
okay. So 1, charm,
Lord.
charisma. Does presence work for this as well?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know if this isn't really a command. I could make it a command.
I think the way that you phrased it, I would take that,
Okay.
definitely.
So 5. And the difficulty is 4.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna use 3 on top of that. So I'm gonna roll 8.
Great.
Alright, so number of dice 8. Whoo!
Nice. Ensign Bell, finally, Kale, you can feel his arm give as he, his eyes go from that and look at the outlay of the brig and looks at his men. All right. At least the vents are small enough in here. And he'll relinquish his firearm.
What was that now?
Sorry,
What did you say
did
about
you want
Vance?
you want something else from me?
What's going on the boat?
I'm sure it's nothing you need to worry about. You're leaving.
Are you in trouble? Like, are you, other than us, like, we are definitely, like, trouble for you right now, but are you in different trouble?
You're, small fries.
Sort of
I mean, I take
embarrassing
offense
then.
to that.
Yes, I would definitely rank this as one of the more embarrassing parts of my career. Congratulations.
Well, you don't have to worry about that. You could let our good friends here give you a good one to the head, perhaps somewhere along the body, and then we could, if we ever see your captain, we could tell him that you put up a fight, and yes, you were just outmatched by our brilliant crew here.
Brilliant.
Vance whispers over his shoulder, Snargle, take their shit.
And like you look, and Snuggle's already pulling the body of like the freckle kid into one of the cells, and it's sort of them all just sort of, and it's not really a creep, but he's small enough that whilst you're talking, he's just rifling through all the things and pocketing like whatever he can find. Like he's got pockets inside his waistcoat, which he's just stuffing things into.
Great. You don't find too many individualized things. One of them does have a scanner like the captain seemed to have, and although it's locked, basically some kind of standard Imperial encryption. It's a smaller version of what the captain had, and you can get them all in cells, lock them, take the key with you.
Captain,
The only
should we
one.
take their clothes and perhaps just
No, leave
capture
their
our way through?
clothes.
It's always the clothes. We're all
Actually, Artemis will take a moment with one of them that she's hoisted and thrown into one of the cells to step in and take off the coat at least. And she lingers with, like, as if she's like investigating the body for a bit. Like she's kind of like, for a moment, she like grabs the face and just kind of turns it a bit, and then lets go.
Oh, that's we can just take your coats. I actually, one of mine seems to have been requisitioned by one of my other crewmates here, so I could use a replacement coat. He finds one that is about similar build to him.
Yeah.
I'll take your coat.
You want my coat?
I mean, yes.
My mom put my name on the tag.
Well, I mean, what is your name?
My name's Silas.
Perfect. I mean, that's just gonna. I mean, look, I'm pretending to be one of you all. It would help if I had something that's perhaps a little bit more personal. Help the look.
Whilst Nat's talking to him, Snargle's hands are going like in his pockets. He's still
Look, I don't
conscious.
think you have any other option here, gentlemen, and I'd rather just ask for it.
He looks so sad, but he'll start shrugging it off. He's like a little ginger with green eyes. And he looks like underfed a bit.
Don't worry, Silas. If I should happen to see your captain, I will say that you put up the most trouble. If I don't see your captain, I'll perhaps send a letter to someone.
What?
Letting them know that you valiantly put up a fight and unfortunately were just overwhelmed. I think you should get a promotion out of it. 6
Just,
against 1 or 5 against 1.
just misty-eyed, shrugging off the coat and hands it over.
Yeah, I mean, Lord Blackbird, who he'll just he'll put on the coat, because I don't think he's actually had his own coat, despite me wearing this right now. I don't think he's actually had his coat on this whole time, so he'll just put it on and just be like, this is actually fairly comfy. They
My
they
lord,
certainly
I would
know what
say-
they're doing in the with their military coats here.
My lord, I would suggest that we get a move on.
Oh, yes. Anyways,
My mom put in extra padding to make sure that it was more
Artemis is
comfortable.
walking away.
yes.
Yeah, we
Good
got
day.
a kid.
Good day, gentlemen. I wish you luck upon your future
Vance will
path.
reach back
So
and
I'm
grab
dead.
Blackbird and just drag him
Yeah,
out.
we're leaving this room now.
As you're going, Ensign Bell being in the closest cell to the door, would you all do us the courtesy of leaving us at least one firearm?
You guys are relatively intelligent, so he takes one of the electronic keys that was from the ensign, the freckled one that we knocked out that seems to only work in here, and he puts it on the other side of the cell block, maybe 10, 12 feet. Boop. That's much better than what you did for us. And like you said, the vents are small in here, so would you like us to close the door? Or would you like us to leave it open?
Closed.
I didn't hear the magic word.
Closed, please.
Of course.
Sorry, I was muted. See, aren't we all just getting along now?
All
Yeah.
right. So are all of you exiting the brig?
As Vance passes Kale, he throws up a high five.
High fives back. Yep.
I think Snargle's rifling through all the things he's sort of got, even if it's like really stupid things, like if there's a piece of string or something else in the pocket, he would have taken it because he just wants to collect all these little bits. And as he's sort of rifling through it, he'll walk past Vance and hold up a scanner and be like, there you go. And then continue to walk past and keep going through all the bits and bobs.
Vance, without looking, will throw it back over his shoulder. Can you open that? He has no
Sorry, who is
idea what that is. He's throwing it over. He's throwing it right back to Snargle. As Snargle threw it up,
Oh,
he took it, looked at it, and was like, "I don't know what to do with this." And he throws it back over his shoulder.
And he looks at it, he's like, and just pockets it again. Anyways,
I'll look at it later.
Nat
I
is
did-
currently in front of Artemis with a high five.
Oh.
When Vance walks by, he throws one up and takes
Yeah.
Artemis's high five. Nice talking, kid.
Yeah.
I got.
I mean, we all
that-
have our skills. Talking
Yeah.
happens. Fine.
Nice. All
Do
right.
you
so,
want one of these guns? And I'm gonna give a gun to. Should I? And I look at Vance. What? No. Yeah.
Yeah. Audibly, he says, "Oh, that sounds like a great idea," but he's shaking
But
his.
he's saying no with his eyes.
He's saying no with his eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have how many guns? 1, 2, 3, 5. We have 5, right? 4 that came in. Oh no, the captain left, so we have 4.
Oh.
So
As
Artemis
we've left,
can't-
Nat is like, did any of them have a sword?
I'm gonna give the other gun to Snargle after seeing the frantic nose.
Great. So everyone is armed except for Nat.
Yep.
The hallway that you are in is now being out of the actual brig proper. the ceiling goes up almost into total darkness. The walls are steel. At the end of the corridor, there seems to be a ladder going up that leads to a hatch, and the hatch is open.
Huh.
And about 5 seconds after staring up at it, a yellow light begins to flash and an alarm begins to blare.
That's probably for us.
Did we do that?
I would imagine that it is warning about us or whatever else is on the ship. Either way, we should quickly get to our own ship and get out of here.
Wait, there's something else on this ship?
Apparently, we're small fries, and Kale's gonna jump up the hatch, right? That's got a ladder to the yeah. Start climbing up.
Yeah, Vance will go right behind her.
Okay, we've got Kale, Vance, then who?
Snargle will probably start. You can hear him rattling on the way up with everything in his pockets, but he's following as quickly as possible with his little legs.
I think
Artemis is going to take up the rear.
Yeah, I think Nat goes next. I was about to say, I feel like Artemis is waiting to make sure Nat gets his dumb ass up there.
Right. So, Kale, as you reach the top with the open hatch and you poke your head out, you are greeted by 24 Imperial guards.
Oh no.
About half of them are pointing their firearms at the hatch where you are. The other half seem to have formed kind of a perimeter. You look to be in the cargo bay, you would guess. Large metal room, several boxes with different labels. And the captain is there. Captain Ferdinand Hollis, because that's good. And he doesn't have a firearm. He's holding his scanner, and he offers his hand out to you to help you out, actually.
Okay. I know that we are completely outnumbered, so I take his hand.
Quick and quiet, Miss Arkham.
Oh, how do you know my name?
Kind of flips his scanner around, and there's a mugshot of you and a list of your various crimes.
Great.
How long is that list?
It's okay. It's fine.
There's most of the text is kind of in this green print, kind of, most of your crimes are petty thievery and things like that. So that's what that indicates. So he helps you out. Says quick and quiet. Where are my men?
They're fine. We didn't kill them. If that's what you're asking, everybody is definitely alive.
Where are they?
Oh, just in there, where we were. And they told us to shut the door because the vents were too small. I'm pretty sure that's what they said.
Something like that, I'm sure.
Can we hear this conversation?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Silas put up an exceptionally good fight. He was
Lord.
the most difficult opponent.
Artemis from below, Nat has definitely done the put a hand on the back of his leg and squeeze to make
At the end of that, just
the rest of you should move up. So once he's helped Kale up, Vance is next.
Vance would not let Kale up there by herself, so he's definitely going to go up.
Yeah.
But as he's going up, he'll look back at Snargle. Your choice, my friend.
Mhm.
And he goes up.
Snargle with the gun sort of just hides it a little bit more doesn't want it to be on show at all, but will proceed up after Vance.
Mm-hmm. And then as Vance comes out, Hollis definitely does not offer his hand to help Vance, but his nostrils kind of flare like he smelled something rotten. And Kale can probably see him flick through a scanner, and an image of Vance comes up, and there are charges next to it that are all in red. Snargle comes up. As Nat comes up, Captain Hollis smartens up a bit and will again extend his hand. Lord Blackbird, everyone's been looking for you.
I'm sorry, who?
Right. Stay by me, please. And he'll offer his hand to Artemis, too.
She won't take it. And she'll, as soon as she gets up, she'll stand by Nat and just a little in front so that she's a bit in between.
Now, if we could all stay calm, we have a little bit of a problem aboard. And at this point, from somewhere within the cargo bay, there is a screech like the tearing of metal and a skittering.
No. Oh no. What was that? What was that?
Something we picked up in our travels before we were rerouted after a gambling complaint.
Something like what?
The gambling complaint?
No, what?
Oh, no. Hitchhiker of sorts.
Is it a like a rat type thing? Is it like a tiny rat thing? Because I can't deal with that.
It's
I will
not tiny.
lose my mind.
It has more legs than a rat. We're not quite sure what they are.
Hollis, if you could be straightforward and give us some analog, that would be most useful at this point.
Of course, Miss Walker. Something we picked up on Imperial business into the void. It has 8 legs. It likes to move through the vents, and it's killed several of my men already. We don't know what exactly it's after. I would just be on your guard. Once we've finished dealing with this, we can all have a nice little chat out of the brig.
Well,
The skittering moves. You can't quite place it in the room this big, but it's moved somewhere.
well, Captain Hollis, it seems like you have a bit of a problem here. Perhaps we could come to an agreement. I have here one of the finest crews of the Wild Blue. You have a problem. perhaps we could fix it for you.
If you're offering to assist, I'm sure that would be in your own personal interest, although you should probably stay in the middle, my lord. And then once it's concluded, we can talk with your escorts and get you back home.
I'd like to have reassurances for my escorts before we help your problem.
Well, that's something that we can... And his voice cuts off abruptly. And his eyes that were looking at Nat, who is, close to 6 foot, slightly taller than Hollis, kind of drift up above Nat's head. And as everyone, I assume, looks up, they are greeted by the descending form of a void spider right above Lord Blackbird's noggin. And that's where we'll end this week.
Oh gosh. Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
Why is it gonna be spiders? Why has everyone got these spiders?
Scary.
Spiders are scary.
The void spiders. I don't even know what that is, but I hate it.
It's bad. You should hate it. It's terrible.
Oh.
Woo! That was episode 1. We did it. Let's do outros. I'll go first. Hi. That was crazy. We did it, fam. I'm Lauren. I'm That Salty Ginger over on Twitter. She, her pronouns. You can find me around the internet playing games with my friends. I'm part of the team here at Tales from the Grim. I also play on Sunday nights on this channel. You can also find me on Off the Table tomorrow night and for another Lady Blackbird campaign that Kiana runs. And you can find me on the Scraticus Academy playing games with Alice and Greg. We play Star Trek and we do D&D 5e and Eberron. Thank you all so much. It's been like a year since I've GM'd. So this is crazy. I was nervous, but y'all were so awesome. And I'm really excited for everything that's coming up. All right, take it away, Tommy.
Oh man. Well, there goes his cover. That was fast. just blown, just gone. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. That was great, Lauren, and you're all great. That was I'm glad. I love all the reactions to my good boy. I'm loving playing him. Yeah, I mean, just throwing us right into the fire next week. I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. That flew by so fast. I am Tommy. He, him, Imperator Pengu on Twitter. I don't know why I had to think about that for a moment. Where else is that gonna be? I do tabletop RPG and video game stuff. Follow me on there because I always announce everything. I'm back here on Friday. I think, maybe, possibly, hopefully. I'm here on Fridays every so often for Grammar in the Dark, Invisible Sun campaign run by Grant Ellis. You can find me on the Greyhawk channel on Monday mornings, playing a not good boy, a very much not good boy, polar opposite, in fact, of that. And then tomorrow, we're having the first session over on Pro Restarters channel of a Dungeon World campaign, which I'm super excited for. I also run and produce a podcast called the Tabletop Explorer Society, where it's a learn by play podcast where we just want to play, learn, and hopefully help other people discover all the various amazing RPG systems out there. You can follow us at Tabletop Explore on Twitter.
Kiana.
That was so much fun. I love all these characters. I love how we have 2 sweet boys and then a bunch of assholes.
That's
Thank
a
you. Thank you,
sitcom title.
Kiana.
Oh no, it's so great. I love Lady Blackbird. I'm super excited to see where Lauren takes it because every single game starts in the same way, but they all evolve very quickly. Void spiders were not something I expected, and here we are. I'm also glad that I was like, okay, let me just game the system a bit. and then we're all like, oh, okay, we can roll a bunch of dice. No, yeah, negotiations. It's a thing with this game, and I love it. But yes, you can find me over on Twitter at Kenna, especially to forget what I'm doing, because I'm all over the internet playing role-playing games almost every day of the week. You can find me back over on this channel on Wednesdays for May Black Roses Bloom. I wasn't sure if I was going to be back, and my character's alive again, so yay! We're good. The other thing I want to plug is that I am starting up my series of Bluebeard's Brides one-shots again, starting off on Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern on a brand new channel that Lauren and I are starting called Salty Sweet Games. We don't have an official launch until the spring, but we're doing a soft launch this week to test out how to do the stream thing, because we gotta start from somewhere. So definitely check us out over there. And you can find us over on Twitter at Salty Sweet Games. So go check that out. And yeah, can't wait for next week.
Awesome. And Alice.
Yeah, this was awesome. I can already see that. I just can't wait to see where all these characters go. Just even like the breakout scene at the beginning, the stereotypical I'm gonna fake being sick and we'll see what happens, and it just, yeah, you know. And I also love how much Nat is like, I've read this in a book, it's okay, I've got this, I know what we need to do next. But yeah, no, I absolutely loved it and already can't wait for next week. I'm White Rabbit Pick. I'm the other half of the Scratchicus Academy, where I DM, I play games. I'm over here on this channel twice, which I'm super hyped about, so I can't wait for the Highlander thing. I can't explain how excited I am for both this and that. But yeah, check that out. I'm so excited for next week already.
Serena.
My goodness, we just hit the ground running. This is so much fun. I love the dynamics of everyone. We're so different, and just the two sweet boys just make my heart so happy. You can find me all over the internet on Twitter at Serena X Marie, or on the show The Dungeon Rats. We have we stream and we do a podcast, so that's pretty cool. We just started streaming let's see, about a month ago, 2 months ago, and we do every other Tuesday. So tomorrow we're up at 8 p.m. Central Time on the Dungeon Rat Twitch channel. And also you can catch me at D&D at Rivals of Waterdeep. We stream every Sunday at 12 p.m. Central, and I play a very smashy character who likes to fight things, so yeah.
Awesome. And Greg, outros, and then take us out.
Absolutely. I had an absolute blast. I have to be careful because I want to, I'm wordy anyway, and I want to talk all the time because I feel like I have to talk all the time. But so I apologize if I step on lines. I'm easing my way back into the player mentality. This group, fantastic. Blackbird is everybody. Blackbird's me when I was in high school, where I was like, I've got this, everybody. I read this in Forgotten Realm. I read this in Dragonlance. We got it. And I absolutely loved all of that. You can see characters from the jump, which is the best. And just working like that and having that dynamic is super duper special. I absolutely love it. Chat, you were fantastic. We've got Mal and Hawkeye coming in to become part of the canon here. What a fantastic. Lauren, you told me that this was a great system. I never believe a word that you say. And now I should probably take that back because it is a great system and I enjoyed it immensely. I am Grimjack21502 on the Twitter. part of Tales from the Grim, where you are right now on the Twitch. As Alice mentioned, we have some fun things coming up. Tomorrow we have May Black Roses Bloom at 8 o'clock, or Wednesday at 8 o'clock we have May Black Roses Bloom. Thursday at 8 o'clock Eastern we have Dungeon of the Mad Mage. Friday, Grammar in the Dark, maybe. And then let's see, on Sunday we have the ending of Project Athena, the 1.5 year long Pulp Cthulhu show that Lauren's been a part of and we've all had a little bit to do with. We also have the episode 0 of Highlander, If on a Winter's Night, this Sunday from 4 to 6 Eastern, where you get to learn about some of the immortals that will be traveling through the centuries here on the channel. But by goodness, by golly, by gum, be back here next week to see how the hell we get out of this one and just be fantastic. Lauren, if you have nothing else left to say, I will say this. As the campfire goes down, there's one thing left to say. You can't always roll nat 20s, but you can always role play. We'll see you, friends.